Matthew 10:13. Kai ean min he oikia axia elthato he erene humon ep altain eande me axia he erene humon proshumas epistrapheto. I want to point out to you here that we have a min de construction on the one hand, on the other hand, or we can just not translate the first one and say but for the second one, because there's an obvious contrast. This comes in the midst of Jesus' instructions to his disciples as he sends them out on mission. He says, and on the one hand, if, whenever we have on, hatan, hasan, any kind of on, we're expecting the subjunctive to come. And there it is right there. It might be a little tricky to recognize because it is a subjunctive form of a me. O, ace, a, right? That third person singular subjunctive form of a me. So Jesus says, and if, on the one hand, the house be worthy. If the house is worthy, the house receives you in a worthy manner as I send you out. He says to them, let your peace, your all, notice it's plural, your all's peace, let your all peace come upon it, come upon the house, upon the household, those dwelling in it. But if it is not worthy, and of course, again, when we hit that on, it's exactly the same form, that third person singular form of the subjunctive. And if it not be worthy, and this time the word house, the noun, the subject there is not repeated, we just have it implied. There's an ellipsis of the subject there. But we do have the word may. Notice how may negates non-indicatives here, negating the subjunctive. Oo or ook negates indicative forms. But if it is not worthy, that is, if the house does not receive you in a worthy manner, let your all peace return to you all. That last form may be a little tricky for you. Do you recognize the lexical form epistrepho? Right? Epistrepho is to return. The aorist passive form of epistrepho is epistraphane, right? Epistraphane, I was returned, or something like that. Notice in the form there is a qualitative vowel gradation. The vowel changes. Notice there's no theta. It's just a phi there, a phi or phi. So what we actually have here, this form is an aorist passive imperative, third person singular. If we had no other context, we might say, let your peace be returned to you all. But you'll notice most English translations say, let your peace return to you, translate it more in a middle sense. And it probably should be understood in the middle sense. It's a medial passive. It's a passive form conveying a middle idea, most likely.